Good morning, boys and girls. I'm Eleanor Hawkins, and welcome to Telestory Time. The Library, a Magic Castle. Come to the Magic Castle when you are growing tall. Rows upon rows of word windows line every single wall. They reach up high as the sky, and you want to open them all. For every time you open one, a new adventure has begun. The Library, a Magic Castle. And now, boys and girls, the first story that I've chosen to read to you this morning is that old favorite. Yes, the Three Bears. Once upon a time, there were three bears: a great big papa bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a wee little baby bear. They lived in a little house in the forest. And they had three chairs: a great big chair for the papa bear, a middle-sized chair for the baby bear, for the mama bear, and a wee little chair for the baby bear. And upstairs there were three beds: a great big bed for the papa bear, a middle-sized bed for the mama bear, and a wee little bed for the baby bear. One morning the mama bear made some porridge for breakfast. She filled a great big bowl for the papa bear, a middle-sized bowl for the mama bear, and a wee little bowl for the baby bear. But the porridge was just too hot to eat, so the three bears went out for a walk in the forest. Now that same morning, a little girl called Goldilocks was walking through the woods. She came to the three bears' house, and she knocked on the door. But no one called, "Come in," so she opened the door and went in. Now Goldilocks saw the three chairs. She sat in the great big chair. Oh, it was too hard. The middle-sized chair was too soft. The baby chair was just right, but it broke when she sat down on it. Now Goldilocks spied the porridge. "Oh, I am hungry," she said. So she tasted the porridge. The porridge in the big bowl was just too hot. The porridge in the middle-sized bowl was too cold. The porridge in the wee little bowl was just right, so she ate it all up. Then Goldilocks went upstairs and tried the beds. The great big bed was too hard. The middle-sized bed was too soft. But the wee little bed was oh so nice. So Goldilocks lay down and went to sleep. Then home through the forest and back to their house came the three bears: the great big bear, the middle-sized bear, and the wee little baby bear. The moment they stepped into the house, they saw that someone had been there. "Hump," said the papa bear in his great voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair." "Land sakes," said the mama bear in her middle-sized voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair." "Oh dear," cried the baby bear in his wee little voice. "Someone has been sitting in my chair and has broken it all to bits." Then they all looked at the table. "Hump," said the papa bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been tasting my porridge." "And someone has been tasting my porridge," said the mama bear. "Someone has eaten my porridge all up," said the baby bear sadly. Then up the stairs went the three bears with a thump, 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 and a trot, 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 and a skippity skip. That was the wee little tiny bear. "Hump," said the papa bear in his great big voice. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed." "And someone has been sleeping in my bed," said the mama bear. "Oh dear," cried baby bear in his wee little voice. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed, and here she is right now." Goldilocks opened her eyes and she saw the three bears. "Oh," said Goldilocks. She was so surprised that she jumped right out of the window and she ran all the way home. And she never went back to the home of the three bears again. And that, boys and girls, is the story of the three bears. And now stay tuned, and we want to read you our Do You Know book in just a moment. And now, boys and girls, I'm going to read from our big Do You Know book. Do you know all about the month of November? Do you know November's birthstone is the yellow topaz? Do you know chrysanthemum is the flower for November? Do you know daylight savings time ends in November? Do you know Election Day in the United States is the first Tuesday in November? Do you know the United States Marine Corps was established as part of the U.S. Navy on November the 10th, 1775? Do you know we celebrate Veterans Day on November the 11th? It's a legal holiday. Do you know we celebrate Thanksgiving on the fourth Thursday of November each year? Do you know the official birthday of the United States Marine Corps is on November the 10th, 1775, and it was established during the American Revolutionary War? Do you know the United States Marine Corps is celebrating their 242nd birthday on November the 10th, which is next Friday? Do you know the United States Marine Corps is celebrated every year on November the 10th with a traditional ball and cake cutting? We wish all of you Marines a very, very happy 242nd birthday. And we want to thank you for all the many things you do to protect our country every hour. And now, boys and girls, I want to remind you to visit your public library. Any of the libraries in the Craven, Pamlico, Carteret Regional Library System. Be sure and go to your library and check out some very good books on your very own library card. And now stay tuned, and we'll be back with another story in just a moment. And now, boys and girls, I have a book entitled The Three Bears Visit Goldilocks. Yes, it follows the book that I just read you. One fine day, Mother Bear said to Father Bear, "Let's take Baby Bear to visit Goldilocks this afternoon." So after a quick lunch of honey cakes and porridge, the three bears set out for the little white cottage at the foot of the hill. When they reached the cottage, no one was there because Goldilocks and her mother and father had gone for a walk. Father Bear knocked at the door. Knock, 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 in a big, loud knock. No one came. Mother Bear knocked at the door. Knock, 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 in a middle-sized knock, and no one came. Baby Bear knocked at the door. Knock, 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 in a wee little knock. And lo and behold, the door swung gently open. It was not locked. The three bears stared in surprise. Then Baby Bear poked his head in the door just to take a peek. "Oh, look, Mother, Goldilocks has 3 chairs too. a big red leather chair, a middle-sized chair, and a wee red chair for Goldilocks. The three bears tiptoed about the living room, feeling the soft red chairs, but they did not sit in them. Baby Bear poked his head into the kitchen just to take a peek. "Oh, Mother, Goldilocks has 3 bowls too, only they are all the same size, and 3 glasses, and 3 plates, only they are all the same size too." The 3 bears walked carefully around the table, while Mother Bear tried to remember just how it was set, so that she could set her own table more properly. The 3 bears sniffed at the gingerbread cooling on the table and at the pudding, but they did not taste anything. They weren't very hungry right after lunch. Baby Bear poked his head into the big bedroom just to take a peek. Then he poked his head into a middle-sized bedroom, and then he poked his head into a little bedroom. "Oh, Mother, Goldilocks has 3 beds too. A big bed with a high pillow, a middle-sized bed with a middle-sized pillow, and a wee little bed with a soft little pillow." At these words, Baby Bear yawned and crept into the wee little bed with the soft pillow and was soon fast asleep. When Baby Bear woke up a short time later and peeped into the big bedroom, he was surprised to find Father Bear sound asleep in the big bed, and Mother Bear was fast asleep in the middle-sized bed. Baby Bear slipped quietly away and went exploring. He crossed the hall to a door which opened on a small room. Baby Bear did not know that it was a bathroom. Baby Bear saw a big white tub. He climbed in and sat there, looking all around. As he started to climb out, he accidentally caught hold of the faucet, and cold water splashed out all over him. Baby Bear did not like that. He scrambled out to get out of the tub, and as he did so, he twisted the faucet again, and the water stopped. Baby Bear rolled himself up in the rug to get dry. Now, after a while, Baby Bear crept out and went to investigate a round blue thing on the wash basin. Baby Bear did not know it was a tube of toothpaste and that someone had left the cap off. As he turned it around in his paw, he squeezed it too hard, and all at once, splat, a gob of toothpaste hit him right in the left eye. Baby Bear looked into the mirror at his one-eyed self. Oh my, what a funny sight! He wiped away the toothpaste as best he could on a pretty towel hanging nearby. Just then his eye caught sight of something in a glass jar on the shelf. It was a beautiful golden color, just the color of honey. Baby Bear took it down and took a taste. Oh my! He did not know that it was shampoo for washing hair. "Oh, oh, oh," he cried, and each time he opened his mouth to say "oh," a beautiful soap bubble floated out. Oh, it was just wonderful. Baby Bear stood before the mirror and chanced and watched the little round bubbles drift forth as he made soft little O's. He watched until the beautiful bubbles stopped coming. And then just then he heard a voice, "Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo." Baby Bear felt someone was laughing at him, and he went to see who it was. He looked and he looked, but he found no one calling cuckoo. He did not know that it was the cuckoo clock over his head in the hall. Now in the living room, Baby Bear saw a large piece of furniture. He did not know that it was a television set. He began to play with the buttons on the side. All at once a voice called out to him, "Strike one." "Oh my, strike me?" cried Baby Bear. He turned the buttons every which way, trying to stop the voice. But all at once there appeared on a white screen above his head a man with a baseball bat. Baby Bear did not know that he had turned on the television. He took one look at the man with the bat as the voice called, "Strike two," and he raced for help. Baby Bear pulled and tugged at Father Bear and woke him up. And then he pulled and tugged at Mother Bear and woke her up. All three bears tiptoed to the living room door and peeked at the screen. The man with the bat swung furiously, and the loud voice boomed, "Strike three!" Oh, the three bears rushed out into the kitchen and hid under the table, the white cloth almost covering them. At this very moment, Goldilocks returned with her father and mother. As they came in the front door, Goldilocks said, "Someone has been looking at our television set." And then she went to the bathroom and looked at the toothpaste and shampoo and towel. "Someone has been in our bathroom." Then she looked into the bedrooms. "Someone has been sleeping in our beds." As she turned around, she heard a noise in the kitchen and saw the tablecloth moving. Goldilocks' father said, "Someone is hiding under our table, and I know who it is. It is Father Bear and Mother Bear and wee Baby Bear." Now, at the sound of his voice, the three bears scrambled out from under the table and lunged through the open door. They lumbered way up the hill toward home and never stopped till they reached their own little house in the woods. And Father Bear and Mother Bear never took Baby Bear to visit Goldilocks again. And that, boys and girls, is the story. The Three Bears Visit Goldilocks. And now stay tuned, and we'll be back with another story in just a moment. And now, boys and girls, get very comfortable and ready to listen to the story, Little Brown Bear. Once there was a little brown bear who lived deep in the woods in a snug tree with his mother and his papa. Every morning after breakfast, Papa buttoned his vest and went out the door with his fishing pole over his shoulder down to the river to fish. But Little Brown Bear had to stay at home and help Mama pick blackberries up on the hill. Every night, Papa came home with a basket of fish. Mama cooked the fish in her big black frying pan and made a pie from the blackberries that she and Little Brown Bear had picked. Then they all ate the fish and the pie for supper. And Mama always said that Papa was the best fisherman in the whole world. But one morning, Little Brown Bear said, "I'm tired of picking blackberries. I want to go down to the river to fish." "A little brown bear is too small to go down to the river to fish," laughed Papa. "You must be big and strong to fish." Then Papa buttoned his vest and went out of the door with his fishing pole over his shoulder. "I am big and strong," cried Little Brown Bear to his mama. "I want to go down to the river to fish." "A little brown bear is much too small to go down to the river to fish," said Mama. "What if you fell in and were swept over those dangerous falls? You must stay home with your mama." But Little Brown Bear did not. He took down his papa's spare fishing pole and he tiptoed out of the door and down to the river to see if he could fish. But where Papa went left, Little Brown Bear went right, so that his papa would not see him. Little Brown Bear sat on a log by the river and waited and waited. The black flies bit his nose, and the grasses tickled and itched. When lunchtime came, he had no lunch, but Little Brown Bear sat quiet and still with his papa's spare fishing pole. The sun began to travel down the other side of the sky. The Little Brown Bear's arms were tired from holding the fishing pole for so long. Still he waited and waited. The air grew cool and the locusts sang. Little Brown Bear was almost ready to give up and go home when suddenly a big fish did bite his hook. That fish thrashed and pulled. It pulled Little Brown Bear and his fishing pole off the log, into the water, and down the river straight towards those dangerous falls. Down, down, down through the water went Little Brown Bear, but still he held tight to his papa's spare fishing pole. The sound of the rushing falls came closer and closer and closer. "Oh," cried Little Brown Bear, "if only Papa were here." And then, just as he was about to go right over the falls, Little Brown Bear felt big, strong paws pulling him out of the water. "There is my Little Brown Bear," cried Papa. "There is my spare fishing pole, and there is a big fish." And Papa hugged his Little Brown Bear with strong, furry arms. When Papa pulled in the line, the fish on the end of it was so big that Little Brown Bear had to help. Papa scratched his ears. "Who said a Little Brown Bear was too small to go down to the river to fish?" "You did," laughed Little Brown Bear. "Still," growled Papa, "what if you'd been swept over those dangerous falls? You must fish with your Papa." That night, Mama had to cook Little Brown Bear's fish outdoors because it was too big to fit in her frying pan. Mama rubbed her nose. "Who said a Little Brown Bear was too small to go down to the river to fish?" "Oh, you did," laughed Little Brown Bear. "Just the same," growled Mama. "You were almost swept over those dangerous falls. You must fish with your Papa, and you must tell your Mama before you go." The next evening, when Papa came home, he carried his big old fishing pole over his shoulder. On the other shoulder, he carried a small new fishing pole, just the right size for a Little Brown Bear. And when they all sat down to supper, Mama brought out a new red vest, just right for a Little Brown Bear to go fishing in. Now every morning, Little Brown Bear and his Mama and his Papa eat their mush and drink their juice and wipe their whiskers. Then the Little Brown Bear and his Papa button their vests and go out of the door with their fishing poles over their shoulders and down to the river to fish. And Mama always says that they are the two best fishermen in the whole wide world. And that is the story of Little Brown Bear. And now, boys and girls, I would like to read you this poem entitled "Books Fall Open." Books fall open and you fall in, delighted where you've never been. Hear voices not once heard before, reach world on world through door on door. Find unexpected keys to things, locked up behind imaginings. What might you be, perhaps become, because one book is somewhere. Some wise delver into wisdom, wit, and withdrawal has written it. True books will venture, dare you out, whisper secrets, maybe shout across the gloom to you in need who hanker for a book to read. Yes, that is the poem, Books Fall Open. And now, boys and girls, let's all remember that this next Friday to wish our Marine Corps a very, very happy birthday. And now it's time for us to close our book of stories for this morning, but we'll be back next Saturday morning. Until then, this is Eleanor Hawkins saying bye-bye for Telestory time.